Yeah, Campus USA. Yeah.
This is Car Bros Podcast, episode 95.
The big 95.
It's the big 9-5, bro.
Oh, whatever. The big 9-5.
This is a milestone episode.
Look, I'm just a really big Lightning McQueen fan. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Welcome back. Thank you for being here. We've got a Patreon. Mm-hmm. So the other day, so I have started driving. I have two like fun cars in the garage, M5 and a Vet. I have a C5 Corvette. My friend Sarah the other day was like,
"Tell us more."
It's like just like making fun of me because I talk about my Corvette on this a lot.
Shocking.
But I don't talk about it.
You used to talk about your Lexus all the time too.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. But I don't talk about it in real life, like at all.
You save it for the cast.
Yeah, it's just on the cast. Well, people make assumptions about you if you admit that you have a Corvette.
Yes,
yellow one.
It's very memeable. Yeah,
for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle.
I've got a yellow Corvette.
That's not in your Tinder profile. Corvette owner. I own a Corvette.
Yeah. All the pictures of me with the Corvette. So once a week I drive both cars, just like a little Saturday morning ritual or something. Like unless I have driven them otherwise, I at least drive them on like Saturday or Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. And it's just like kind of like a 10-mile loop, whatever, like fucking around, looking for other cars. Yeah. It is generally like bopping around town. And like almost every time I'll like get on the freeway or like punch it or something. And like almost every time I hit traction control
in both of them,
in both cars, like shifting into set, or I'll just do things generally. Like I'll just be like cruising and then like
primitive early 2000s traction.
Yeah. I'll like punch it aggressively in like the middle of second and like traction control come on or like just something dumb. But I just realized like I probably would have legitimately like crashed either or both of those cars if it wasn't there. I just lean on it. I'm just like fuck it. Like I just like
it'll bail me out.
Yeah, I have no sense of like I should be careful here.
It's like you're like a toddler and like but like like your parents there to like grab you.
Yeah, I'm just like jump on it really aggressively in third. Yeah. I'm like, oh, the light came on. Like I have like no sense of like what I should or shouldn't do.
No,
in either of those cars. I don't know if I don't have a point beyond like just kind of realize like I'm actually not a very good driver. Just like
aggressive driver.
Yeah, I'm just like oh, I just like to make it get loud, but there's no like thought about like
finesse.
Technique. Yeah, or like roll onto the throttle gradually. I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna
holding on to the threshold.
Yeah, nah, I'm just gonna like pound on it.
Then I'll let traction control take care of it.
Yeah, I was in the M5 and I like jumped on it at like 50, kind of on a gradual, like long sweeping on ramp. The traction control came on and like, it like reeled it back in. And I was thinking like, if that thing let go, I don't think I could have saved that. Like I'm not.
You'd be
I'd be in the ditch. Like I'm not.
Or the concrete barrier. Yeah.
Honestly, though, like if you did like do like track days, like you probably actually like would learn. Like that's probably like the best thing about it is like. You can actually kind of feel like, oh, like this is what it feels like when my car is like stepping out at, 60 or whatever.
Well, I just never would like go from 10% throttle to 100 like in like 1 second. I mean, I'm just like stabbing the throttle. I could. Yeah, like I am purposely putting myself in a position that I could not save myself from, basically, where if I knew the traction control wasn't there, it'd be this very gradual, easing into the throttle and like listening, feeling for the rear end to start to step out. It's like, nope. So yeah, it's definitely like training wheels. Even the early 2000s shit. It's like I don't care. I'm not using it to be like, I'm not using it to be fast to find the limits. I'm literally just using it like the bumpers when you go bowling.
Yeah.
Like,
Some training wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Okay, so anyways, like another thought I had while I was driving around, I was in the vet. The M5's kind of like, no one really knows what that car is unless they know, and then they're like, oh, hey, you know, like, like thumbs up or whatever.
Like people would know at like a Cars and Coffee, but not just like around town, really.
Yeah, no one knows what a M5 is. And so, but in the vet, it's like,
they know.
I don't know. It's just kind of more of a, even like somebody who's into cars might not really know what an M5 is. Like, it's just kind of like, it's pretty obscure. Where like everybody knows what a Corvette is.
Everybody loves
very
a vet.
Like, yeah, everybody loves a vet. Well, anyways, I don't really know how to describe this, but I was passing a guy in a WRX, like a kid.
Damn. Yeah.
And I give out thumbs up like candy. I just hand them out because it's like, I feel like the hobby it's important to keep the hobby alive.
You're a real pay it forward kind of guy.
Yeah. So like anybody remotely like
Scion
into
TC.
it, I'm just throwing them out left and right like pamphlets for a religious institution. And so I passed this kid in the WRX and I give him a thumbs up. And I was kind of thinking like, man, that would have actually been like weird like 20 years ago and kind of the height of it.
Crossing the battle line.
It used to be like, it used to be like fucking ricer, like disliking someone because of the car they drive.
Yeah, he would have been like offended by it. Like he would have thought you were sarcastic or something.
It's just kind of funny to think about how like intense that rivalry used to be. Look at this piece of shit ricer. Look at this
fart
asshole.
cannon. Yeah.
Rice rocket.
In this smaller display, like this, choosing to drive a car made in a country different from the one that my car is made in. It's so dumb. But it was so intense. You remember that? It was like, no, fuck, like
The battle lines
dead in one of those. Yeah, it's like such a stark contrast. And I kind of felt that a little bit. I was like, this is weird, isn't it? Like giving a thumbs up to another. I felt like it was unexpected.
My son has one of those.
Yeah, I felt like I was doing something like out of the norm. But yeah, anyways, I go out of my way to give the thumbs up.
You're extending a branch.
Yeah, it's peace offering.
I still feel like that exists because whenever I take the STI to work occasionally, and it's like a pretty short commute, but every once in a while, there's a ton of Chargers and Challengers and, 5.0 Mustangs around here, but they always get very aggressive whenever they see me, like, zooming up.
Honestly, I think they just get aggressive like at all times, like no matter who they see.
Somebody who,
yeah. If they see
honestly,
any other, that's true.
Whenever I see like a Scat Pack or like any of those cars like on the road, there's like probably like a 7 out of 10 chance that they're gonna like just punch it. Like at any given time, like even if I'm in like the RAV4. So I think that just might be their natural.
Yeah, they treated me the same when I drove the Jeep. That's true. Yeah, like, they just saw the SRT badge on the back of this thing, and it had filled their testosterone. Had to make their peacock feathers show.
Yeah, pretty sweet. Okay, just had to get that out of the way. Timely news,
breaking.
Yeah, didn't we used to do like a like we used to do something like that?
We used to talk about doing that.
And then we
can continue to talk about
having
segments. So for the like 6 of you that rely on Car Bros for your industry news, the new
6
Mustang
is generous.
Yeah. 2 new Mustangs in the last like 2 years. It's crazy.
That's right. The family.
Yeah, the Mustang family continues to grow. The stampede. So there is an unveiling of a new Mustang.
What's the name of a baby? What do you call a baby horse?
I don't know.
Calf? No, that's a cow.
No, that's a
I don't know.
Look it up.
Gelding?
Fawn?
I don't fucking know. God. Sarah's going to be screaming at the...
fowl.
Oh,
Yeah,
foul.
sure.
There you go.
Fowl? Yeah.
A doe? I think it's a doe.
That's a deer, bro.
Okay,
there's a new fowl in the stable.
Yeah. So Ford did another like unveiling. Did you watch it at all? Did you watch their like live event?
Hold on a second. I want to send this real quick.
You're gonna want to. Yeah, this should be the. There's a new Mustang birth from the placenta of the Ford. You're gonna, if you're audio only, you're gonna want to.
I don't know why I feel like I've never really seen like a baby horse before.
But there it is. Maybe
in case you're wondering what
a baby horse.
What a baby horse.
We're just staring at a picture of a baby horse, or possibly a small horse.
Yeah, could be.
You never know. Could be micro.
There it is, folks. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Ford. Did you watch the event?
I watched most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, just in general, I just want to talk about events. Like, Apple is to blame for product unveilings. Like,
yes.
Like one person in the industry, Steve Jobs, was like good at this, and now every fucking company feels like they need to have like an event.
Yeah,
where it's like
okay, let's bring out the
it's like basically it's just like a guy or girl or members of the company in front of a big screen and like trying to make it dramatic, but it's never since Steve Jobs, and maybe you could say like Elon Musk is pretty bad, but he kind of has his own vibe. None of these people are good on stage. These are not. It's not like let's put him on stage because he's got a real magnetic presence, and this is the like guy. And so it's always just this like the most cringy like scripted fucking thing, as if that's what we want is like some person like standing there. Like, yeah, the whole reason that Jobs did it was because he was passionate about the thing, and like he was the spokesperson. And so Ford just puts like this guy, like, you're good looking. Yeah. it's like run through a bunch of like scripted bullshit, and they have like guests coming on stage doing their scripted portion.
This is the most advanced Mustang ever.
Yeah, like it would be better if it was just like a well done PowerPoint. like here's the stats. And so they unveiled the new Mustang, which is like very iterative.
Yeah, like I would say honestly, like it's a big stretch to even like call it a new Mustang.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
like they're calling like this is like the 7th generation, but like
this is pretty much like I'd say like C5 to C6.
Yeah, I'd say it's even less than that. Like it's about like from like the 2009 to the 2010 Mustang, or like the 98 to 99.
I was gonna say it felt more like the like the late 90s one to the early 2000s one.
Yeah. I'm guessing they did change a lot, but you really wouldn't know. Yeah. And the visual changes kind of highlight the fact that like this thing is probably not much different.
Especially if you look at it from like just the side, like the straight side.
Yeah, I think they said like 80% of it is new, which is true, but that means that like every part you changed by like 2%. Right. And then you were just like, new, yeah, it's different. It's like it's new, but like that's kind of a bold word to use. So anyways, that's not bad. I mean, these products get so good that they're mature. It's like the iPhone year over year. It's like, there's not really a lot of room to change it. So it's not bad, but one thing that kind of pissed me off is like it's just sort of the pace of things now. And you've commented on this before, Garrett. It used to be like, here's the thing, like, buy it. It's like, and Apple, to their credit, Apple still does this. They're like, it's on sale tomorrow.
Yeah, or like you can order this in a week or something.
Yeah, it's like ships like next Friday or something. You're like, fucking great. And they're like, here's all the everything. Here's the specs and all price, of it.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of we're like expecting that. And then stuff like this, I'm like, here it is. And then it was like, sweet. And I was like, man, like, I watched the whole event. And they preview a lot, and they're like, look for more at like Ford.com/like new Mustang. And I go on the website, and it's like, there's no numbers. There's no fucking.
It's just like some pictures from the event.
They're basically like, we've 99% honed in on the look.
I think it said like summer of 23. It was like so it's like almost a year before like anyone's gonna buy one of these.
It's just frustrating because they're like, we're not even done. We don't even have power numbers for you. Or like, we're not even going to show like the engine, just anything where you're like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't an unveiling. This is like a status update.
Yeah. It's like, well, I think video games are almost worse in that regard. It'll be like, here's a little teaser for like a game that's coming out in like 4 to 5 years, maybe.
Yeah. So it's just kind of become the norm to like, okay, instead of like showing this to people when it's done, let's stretch out the last like 80% of the project to like it's almost done. Which, I think one advantage to that, which they don't really do this, but I wish they would, is like a true design review. You'd be like, here it is. Do you like it? And if people were like, no, change XYZ, they'd go, oh, okay, and they like adjust it. But they're not doing that. They're just like, or like maybe they are, but they don't really give you enough to like give a shit.
I guess the biggest thing with the new Mustang is like the interior, I guess, is the biggest departure from the current one. And it's basically just like as with so many other cars, it's just like they replaced like all the instruments and the stereo screen with just like 2 big screens or one, or 2 screens that are like basically touching each other.
Right.
It was kind of interesting because
it was kind of off-putting to me, but
like the most extreme, and I would say like one of the earliest examples of this is the Model 3. Because the whole point of that car was, and the truth of all this is, if you bury controls in a touchscreen, it's way cheaper. A physical control is just like, it's like new wiring you have to run. It's like not only the switch, but you have to mount the switch. You have to make room for it. It's like XYZ, all that shit adds up. And so the whole point of the Model 3 was, let's just design a car from the ground up to be as cheap as possible to manufacture while still being good.
And
so
that car also, and it also went in with like no expectations. There was no like, that's not the Model 3 that I know.
And so just like out of the gate, they're like, here it is. And it was shocking. It was like, what? Like just a screen? Like that's crazy. Yeah. And so that sort of led the way to manufacturers like easing into that. Yeah. Cause the bottom line is it's cheaper. Like the more shit you can put on a screen, it makes it cheaper, and there's kind of room to update it later.
And obviously like no matter how many real buttons, it's like it's gonna have a screen anyway, so you might as well just expand.
It's already gonna have a screen, so like they go back and forth on like, okay, what do we have to make a physical control, or else people like get upset, and what can we make on the screen? And so the trend, I think you'll just continue to see more and more screen integration until customers don't really love it. That's kind of the
I feel like the average consumer loves the, like when there's a big tablet looking thing, they're like, oh, that's so neat. But I feel like car enthusiasts don't.
Maybe in like a CRV or something, they probably would.
I think
I think that's a problem. Is like, you see these like EVs or whatever crossovers, and it's like, here, this is our like 13-inch screen. And it's like, like this is a Mustang. Like you just want 2 big flat screens. Yeah. Especially when like the gauges and like the instruments were always kind of like part of like the, Mustang style or whatever. especially if you look at it compared to the the previous one.
Right.
Yeah, it's so interesting how like this sort of similar to like when computer graphics started leaking into movies. You remember, kind of like late 90s, early 2000s, and the general consensus was like, it's not as good. Like, I don't like it. Like it's only gotten more and more complex, and even still, the most kind of badass sort of like computer generated thing that a movie can show you, you're like, yes. Yeah, like that's great. It's like the whole city, a tidal wave hitting New York City, and just like
the planet ripped in half.
You're like it's fine, but it's not. It's not exciting you as much as. I mean, that's why Top Gun was so good. There's tons of practical effects in it, and you just know even if you're uneducated, you're just like, that's literally a person doing that stunt or whatever. It's just like, that's more impressive. It's kind of the same thing with...
And even apart from that, it was always like, it was a little bit like a magician in a way. Cause like, wait, how did they shoot that? Like, what did they do?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Are there strings sort of, on that? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, they had to get it right at least once, somehow they fucking pulled it off at least once.
It's just like, wait, how many Koreans were programming that?
When you do it with the computer, it's like there was no like risk there. They just like kept doing it until it was perfect. And so that's kind of the same with like sort of a jump, but with cars, it's like, look how like sick the like startup animation is on the gauge cluster. It's like, I just don't really care. Like that's neat. But it's never going to be as cool as a physical gauge cluster where the needles do like a little dance or something, where it's just like, ooh, like a thing, a physical like thing.
Yeah, or like kind of like with the Tesla, like that stuff is like maybe neat on like the first one or two when that is different. We're like, oh, this is like unlike anything else I've seen. But then like when that becomes the norm, you're like, this is kind of weak.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. They did it because it was like, we're going to try to develop a car. We're going to rethink how you make a car and like make it as cheap as possible. And I was like, oh, like neat. That's not how cars are made, but like cool. And now that people are like, wait a minute, we can get away with it.
And people like this.
That's like way cheaper to, they just kind of trying to pass it off as like, I think the problem is no one's doing it that well. It's just like, just throw all the shit on a screen and like give it kind of a, it's not like, we put it on a screen, but like check out how crazy and intuitive and like different and, like, it's on a screen, but this is like, these are like super impressive screens, and we went out of our way to. Yeah, this is special. It's just like, this is just some fucking screen with like shitty black levels, and like looks all like lame at night. So I don't know. That stuff is like, I'm not inherently against it, but it just feels to me like pretending like it's better, being passed off as like it's better, where like the old way was kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't say more impressive, but
I think the common consensus is screens are okay as long as like HVAC controls are physical, because those are the things that you adjust them. But like once everyone gets a car and gets all their settings to where they want, the only thing they're really changing are the HVAC controls, like fan speed, temperature. And as long as that's a physical button that you can physically do, I personally like the look of like a big screen and then physical HVAC controls. I think that's way better than like late 90s, early 2000, like BMWs, Mercedes, where they had like just a million fucking buttons on the dash. Like, remember they have like the keypad, like the 9-key fucking thing for the telephone, and just a million buttons that did everything.
Yeah, my car, the E39, was kind of like, because the next 5 Series was when they had iDrive.
Yeah.
And so the E39 was right when they were like, there's too many buttons. Like every like air conditioning mode has a button.
Right.
Like it's not like cycle through if you want like foot.
Yeah. Foot.
And then like whatever. It's like all 4 of them have their own but like which mode do you want? It's just like a sea of buttons. So that's why it started. They're like, okay, there's too many buttons.
Exactly.
Like, it's too many buttons.
It's getting like a freaking airplane cockpit where there's like a million fucking buttons and switches. But
It is kind of funny though, because 90% of the time, I would even go higher than that. Maybe I'm kind of a corner case, but I interact with that stuff so little. It's like AC compressor on or off.
Yeah.
And like maybe the fan speed, but like usually not even that. And then like the volume on the steering control, it's like you I guess you need to have the buttons, but I don't really use them, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Anyways, how do we feel about the car itself?
The Mustang?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed, the look is fine. It seems like they made some like improvements to the Coyote. Like it has like twin throttle bodies now.
Yeah, I saw there's minor tweaks. Yeah. And even the EcoBoost engine got an update, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like a different turbo or something. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. They didn't announce the power for either of them, but I mean, I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're still at least trying. When Dodge is like, no, we can't do this anymore.
No more V8s.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll prompt like a change. Because right now, is it all speculative, or do we actually know that like Dodge kind of V8?
No, I'm pretty sure they confirmed that like 23 is like the last year for the Charger and Challenger. Yeah.
Yeah, and even I saw the 300C. They're bringing back the 6.4 Hemi for the last year.
Yeah,
but
just like
after that, it's going.
Yeah. And then, do we know that the Camaro is like gone too, or
the Camaro? I think they're just going to let that one kind of die on the vine. I think. I don't think there's like any plans. I mean, they'll probably be like the electric Camaro, like in.
It's just going to shrivel up, like
I assume. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my this is my fucking lightning hot take that I don't even really believe it. But I'm going to pretend like I believe it more than I believe it. And that is like these kinds of, I feel like the V8, the gas engine has just gotten so good that it has almost become boring. Where like, okay, this is a 5-liter V8. It revs to like 7,500 RPM. It's crazy smooth torque delivery, just crazy smooth like power delivery all the way up to redline. You put it behind like this super smooth, very fast, like imperceivably fast 10-speed automatic. And like at what point, if you just put, earmuffs on that cut out all the sound, are you not just kind of approaching what an EV feels like to drive? It's just like you've got this power plant that is so powerful and smooth in its delivery, and the transmission is so like smooth and refined that like the kind of goal that they keep chasing after year over year, the like peak of what a gas engine can be, you're basically just approaching what an EV feels like to drive, like they're like engineering out the parts that are fun, where the only thing left basically is the sound. It's just like, at the end of the day, this thing makes a cool sound. But I would say experience of driving it.
Some of that is true, but I would say like not for V8s. I would say that's more for like, I don't know, 2-liter turbos or something. Because like V8s are probably the most like unique motors that are out there right now. Like they rev higher. And
Am I just making this up?
I don't know.
I think the V8 is like, if you daily drive a V8, which none of us do, I did in the Jeep. But when you daily drive it, it's like if you're just putting around town, it's kind of useless in the fact that like it's not really now that they make them to where when they're just driving normally, they don't really make a sound. It's not. But it's only when you get on it.
1,200.
Yeah, it's only when you put your foot down and like experience, the vibration and the sound of the V8, you're like, fuck yeah, this rules. But if you're daily driving it, how often do you actually do that? But if it's a special car, like, you guys have your Vets and the M5 and you take it out on the weekend, you're not just putting around town. You're like getting on it in between a stoplight and
yeah. But
it.
the thing that I really like about both of my cars is they're old enough to feel way different than new cars feel. Like they both have they're way shittier than new. Like that new Mustang motor compared to like the LS6 and the Vet, that thing is like rumbly. I don't even think that it has a miss at idle anymore. It just kind of idles like shit. like you know, it feels very much like this is a gas powered engine. Like this is very obvious. And the M5, like the power band's kind of funky because it's like early variable valve timing. It's like it has a ton of character. I feel like year over year, they're just getting like their goal is to make it feel less and less kind of like that. It kind of feels like all cars are just, they're getting in the pursuit of being good. They're sort of getting more boring. It's kind of like this is not going to be a good example. It's a very not PC example. But it's basically like when a woman becomes so beautiful that she becomes unattractive kind of thing. Or it's just like her face is so symmetrical.
She just doesn't stop.
Yeah, it's just so like perfect.
Like,
where
are you talking about like the guys in BTS? Their faces are so
yeah, they're smooth Korean faces. No, it's like, yeah, it's like some of the most, you know, attractive people, you know, usually have some flaw or something. Like there's something about them that's like not traditionally attractive, and that's what makes them attractive. Where I feel like cars now, and maybe this is part of a larger conversation I was thinking about the other day. It's a little bit of a tangent, but like, there's kind of no such thing as like bad anything right now. But like movies, television, cars, electronics, nothing is bad anymore. And I feel like,
well, have you seen She-Hulk Attorney at Law?
I was going to say She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Well, even that is like,
I mean, I guess that has like, an audience, but yeah.
Well, that's about as bad as it gets to where like, I feel like reasonable is the new bad. And people haven't like caught up to that, where if you're not making something that's like stellar, then you're actually kind of failing because nobody is making bad stuff anymore. And it used to be like, wow, like drive a fucking Kia or something, you know, it's like, that's like a bad car. It's like, there is no bad, like find a bad car now. It's like, it's like maybe just the
Nissan.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't even know, like a Nissan, what? Maybe like the worst car Nissan makes. Even that's going to be pretty good. And so it's like people are getting away with making kind of mediocre stuff now because it's so much better than it used to be. Where like we're sort of at a loss for what makes something exceptional anymore. Like it's very rare to interact with something where it's like, oh shit, this is so good.
Yeah.
I think that's why we were so taken aback by Top Gun. We were like, oh, it's good. It's like, it's good for like all these, you know, crazy reasons where we're just sort of used to things being like acceptable.
Yeah.
Like everything's good now. Like this new restaurant's opening. It's like, it's good. Like everything's good. Nothing's, you know, just like everything in life is good. Like everything is a mature product at this point. And it's getting harder and harder to make things exceptional. And we're like less and less willing to call things out for not being exceptional. We're just like, come on, like 500 horsepower. And like, you know, it's a V8. It's like, yeah. You know, like I hear you. Fair enough. Like it's fine, but I don't know where I'm going with that. But I just felt like they came out like the special version of the Mustang is called the Dark Horse. Which just by the way, have you seen the badge on the side?
Yeah,
just like, oh, Dodge puts a cat, so we should put. Yeah, it's like this front shot of a horse face, which is like,
but not a baby horse.
Yeah, look, like a horse is a very majestic animal. Like we can agree. It's like a very dynamic side profile, which is why every company that has used
Especially
a
when it's a
horse
baby.
uses every company that uses a horse uses its like whole body in the use of the horse. And they have chosen to use just its face from a straight on angle, which is like kind of the like dumbest look. It's like a vase with eyes, kind of. And so like that's the badge. It's like I don't know. Like you're just not. It's not like a very dark horse. It's like kind of like a not very. Like, I don't know. They're like, well, they've got Hellcat.
I think they just wanted like.
Dark
I think they were like probably got tired of people like say, oh, you're just like bringing back names from the past, like you're recycling your. You're
yeah,
like
and I get that. That's fair enough.
Like, okay, how about Dark Horse?
Yeah, I think it just like here's an example of. Let me make a comparison here, where you've got the Dark Horse, which just doesn't that just feel like this had like 1,000 people's kind of hands on it, like this has been tested against many focus groups. Versus something like, I'm not saying this is a better car, but the 2003, what is now known as like the Terminator Cobra, where that was kind of led by like a guy. You know, it was just sort of this like asshole like product manager or something. Yeah, and like the whole car is like it's fascinating. There's many like sort of little things about it that are like extreme, or like, you know, it's like a flawed car. Again, it's like things are like shit to ride in.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, even like, you know, even if you like, it's kind of like, you know, Star Wars. Like it used to be made by George Lucas, like for better or for worse, and now it's just made by like a fucking vast, like faceless, like conglomerate.
Yeah, it's kind of like the faceless, like product manager. You know, it's just like insert product manager, and it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Again, it's fine. Like, and we haven't even seen this thing. It could be good, but it's just like I don't know anything about the Dark Horse, and I can tell you right now, it's like, okay, it's gonna be like a very fast V8. It's gonna have like a good 6-speed. There's probably gonna be like some like carbon wing. It's going to be like very track focused.
Yeah, I think it's basically
flaws.
It's basically just a replacement for the Mach 1 that they have right now. I think just with like a new name. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like. I like my cars to feel like someone said like don't do that, and someone else was like, I'm gonna fucking do it anyways. You know. That's kind of how the Hellcat felt when it came out. It was like, what? Like, this thing is very unbalanced, and they're still selling like hotcakes. It's like they from a full run of that car, they sold every one of them that they could, because it's just like, this motor is fucking dumb. Like, this is like. This motor is like crazy.
Let's put it in like everything we can.
And they put in everything, and people were like, I want it. Like, I want that motor. You know, because it's just like a joke. It's like crazy. It's a caricature, but that's kind of what people want. They want like a story as told by a single person or something. You know, it just gives it personality. So I don't know. I just kind of worry that we're entering. I don't think this is forever. Someone's going to crack the code, but like the new kind of bad is now something that is like good by 1,000 project managers kind of thing. It's like very safe.
It's like mini committees involved.
Yeah, it's good. Again, it's good. It's fine. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just like, I feel like part of what makes this country great is that everyone thinks they're a army of one. Like everyone thinks that they're a kind of badass by themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes that gets reflected into the products that we make, or it's like, wow, this is way different. And like, this is clearly kind of the result of someone having way too much confidence.
Yeah, and then even if the product or whatever, like the movie or whatever it is bad, it's like it's like more acceptable when it's like, though, like this guy, like, was bad or did wrong versus just like, who do you blame for this? Like if like like if whatever, like if Tarantino makes a movie like and it's really good, or if it sucks or whatever, like why.
Yeah.
Like you're not like, well, that's just like comparing one of his movies to whatever, like a Marvel movie. You can tell like, oh, this, like
I think we have like
one guy wanted
like
this.
We've like smoothed out the curve so that like generally things are better. Like you just kind of don't get products that like fail anymore.
Yeah,
because there's too many
like
eyes
exceptional.
on it. Yeah, but at the same time, when you have so many eyes on it, you lose the like sharp edges.
Yeah, it gets
like,
watered down.
Who the fuck signed off on that? Like this is like crazy, but then it ends up being good because of it. It's like somebody had a singular vision and like knew why this would be good. And you know what? I'm like totally. It's not like the 03 Cobra is good because of one guy. Like that's not fair.
Yeah,
that's not how it works. It's not usually one person, but it is shocking how much difference a single person can make. Like you really can just sometimes have.
And there's so many like
one
stories
person.
like, going back. I mean, pretty much through all eras, really, where it was like there was this one team like involved, and like they were doing everything they could to like get corporate or whatever, like the next level up to like approve what they're doing. And then sometimes like they wouldn't even get approval, but they would like still keep working on it.
Yeah, they would still do it. Yeah.
And now, like, I mean, maybe it's the same now, but it doesn't seem like it. Whereas like the Dark Horse team was just like working their butts off trying to get in, and like then finally Ford like approved.
Yeah, it's a very like. First of all, it's a weird thing to complain about because it is good. I mean, we don't know what it is, but it's like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be like amazing. Whatever. It's not gonna be a bad product. But it's just not like, it's just not like, God, we just can't wait to show you that. Like you do not see this thing coming. It's gonna be so kind of different. There's just nothing about it where it's like, yep, that wasn't. Every person in the organization agreed with that decision. It's just like nice. So I don't know. That's not like, again, I like it. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be good. It's not even to say I wouldn't want to own it. Like I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure, and this could very well be one of the last kind of like V8. Yeah. Sort of like American, whatever, the ultimate sort of internal combustion pony car. But, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. But although I guess, sort of in relation to that, like there's been a lot of stuff on the GR Corolla lately. In a way, like, again, I don't know how much of this is marketing, but like that almost seems a little bit more like the old school, like approach. I mean,
style.
if all the stuff is to be believed, it was like apparently like the CEO of Toyota, like, who apparently is like, he races and stuff. And I don't think it's just like a, branding thing. Like it seems like he's genuinely interested in making like cool cars. And it was almost like him, like trying to win over, the rest of the company to like make this weird
Toyota
car.
Since that pivot started with the, what did it used to be called? The FRS.
Yeah.
The like, it was like there is no sporty anything. Like we need to start introducing some sporty stuff, and they have. They've come back. It's like Supra, 8.6 is that second generation. You got the GR stuff. Like Toyota is back, because they really didn't have any offering. Like they didn't have anything fun 6 years ago or whatever. Whenever the
right.
Like literally no sporty anything.
Yeah.
And so like now they've got some pretty good stuff. Yeah. So GR Corolla has been like the embargo is lifted, prices are out, reviews,
at least initial impressions, whatever.
So I don't have a ton of thoughts on that car other than like I think I would be very excited if I was getting one. But it just feels like a car from like 2003.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the point. Is like, to me, like from what I can tell, like it feels like a new version of the whatever, like Evo.
Yeah.
I guess like it would be like as
like
if
it could have come out with those two. in
Yeah,
like 06 or whatever.
like if Toyota decided to build their own like Evo.
Right.
Which, you're right. Fair enough. Because people are like, oh, it's as popular as it's ever been. And so they're like, well, here, we'll like turn the faucet back on. And like, it's like make exactly that. It's like when people are like, why don't they make a R32 Skyline again? Like, just like it was, it's like really dumb. Like, it's not how it works. This is like people say, why don't they make the STI anymore? And they're just like, fucking here. Like this is like it again. We're just like making a brand new one. So that is kind of cool in that regard.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. And like it's from what I can tell, like, I don't know how much stake you can put in these like reviews where they just like drove the car around the track a couple times, but it's like it seemed
went on a track.
Yeah, like it seems like it's really good, but it's not like so good where you're like, oh, this thing is like perfect out of the box. Where like kind of like an Evo or an STI, like you can still like you could put better suspension, wider tires, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
there's still like some room left there, so I think it'll be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think that car is like a Japanese car in the traditional sense of this is a platform to modify.
Right. Yeah,
because out of the gate, what they have basically supplied, like an A86 when it was new.
Yeah, it's like super soft.
Yeah, that was not, it was like, that was not a hard-edged car. Kind of was, but
but I mean, nobody left it stock.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where this thing, they've supplied something where it's like, look, anybody can buy this thing and have fun with it. It's very safe. It's tuned to be very safe. It's very approachable.
Yeah.
Whatever. But basically all they're saying is this is set up initially to be those things. It's not like there's some like inherent thing with the chassis that makes it never able to, it's like what I heard when I was reading those or seeing those reviews. It's like, okay, this thing is going to just be modified to fucking hell and back.
Yeah.
But, some people leave it stock, but it's like, this is sort of a platform. This is what the STI was. Nobody fucking leaves an STI stock.
Yeah, where the Type R is like almost like it's hard. It's kind of hard to improve out of the box, I would say.
I agree. The Type R is like you sort of, which I like about the Type R. You don't need to modify, and you don't need to modify this either. But the Type R is, I think, a little bit harder edged, and it's sort of.
Well, it's like if you're changing something on the Type R, it feels like, should I really be doing? Like, am I actually going to gain anything off of doing this?
Yeah,
or am I?
It's like you might gain a little bit, but you compromise something else.
Yeah.
And I also like when I was reading. I mean, Type R it's weird. I don't know if this might change, but they've already kind of hit the like collector status. Like nobody's really. It's kind of like a weird thing to say, but for a while there they weren't. Like for a second there, they were just sort of like the new.
Like when I sold my
and dudes were like, how much power can we get out of the, like they were modifying them like it was like a 90s Honda, like blowing the motors up and stuff. It was just like, so it was like I took this thing from Honda and made it even faster. It was like kind of like dumb car to do that too.
It
was like dude, they put a lot of effort into making that thing like what it was. And it was so good from the factory.
So, but I'm pretty excited for this thing. It looks like it's going to be like, I mean, fully loaded for like the regular one is going to be like under 40 grand, which is pretty impressive, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's with the LSDs.
Like if you for the base one, if you got like every option, I think it's still going to be under 40 grand. So. In this day and age, that's pretty cheap. But again, whether you can actually get one who at that price, who knows?
Right.
I think the only thing that really like kind of pissed me off about that whole thing is that Morizo edition.
Oh yeah.
Just the type of person who's going to buy that thing. You're going to have like 2% of those actually being driven.
Well, the thing is like, because it's like they, at the review or the event, it's like, they were giving the people like as much seat time in that thing as they were the regular one. And they're like, oh yeah, this thing is like, well, it's sharper, blah, blah, blah. It's got stickier tires, it's not like fundamentally different, but it's like spiced up a little bit.
Yeah.
But the car is just like, regardless of the price, it's just like you're making 200 of them. Like, why?
200 of
Like
them.
that's not even like what, that's like an ornament. Like, what do you? I don't know. What are you trying to say?
Well, it just like it's almost packaged as like, this is the people who want to like, if you want to like race it, here's the version to like race it. It's like, no fucking wanker who buys that thing is gonna race. They're gonna do like a track day and then put it on Bring a Trailer.
I don't even know.
Like, no, it just wasn't for me.
When you only make 200 of something, like
yeah,
like no one's gonna try. I don't. It's like I guess they're just trying to build extra hype. I don't know, but.
Yeah, it's almost like a marketing exercise or something. I'm just fucking waiting for the. I mean, I give it like weeks before one of these is on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah,
like literally.
Yeah, I guess the only thing like it maybe serves is like showing that like what the regular one would be like with like if you like put suspension on it and wider wheels and. Like a few little things, but like as a car, like it's like irrelevant to even talk about how it drives.
I know, it's almost an insult. I would rather they just made that thing like a SEMA, version that they like. People drove it. It was like like when they used to do that. Remember that Focus with nitrous that someone sent us? I was like, this exists, but we're not really like selling it.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather it be that than an actual car.
Yeah.
That like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna.
Well, doesn't
these are
Honda
just only gonna be collected and flipped.
Honda makes that Type R that's like gutted and everything like that too, don't they?
I don't think it was gutted. They had like the. Oh well, that's like a race car. That's like a regular Type R. They just like strip everything out of.
Yeah, it's but it's listed on their website. It's like the funniest thing. It's like starting at like $90,000 or something.
Yeah, I don't even think that's street legal. That's like you buy that to go racing.
Right, that's what I mean. But it's
like Toyota has like an 8.6 version of that. I think you can buy.
Like those are fine. I'm all about the ones that are not street legal. I actually like that because it's like. Like go for it. Like sell as many of those as you want. Like I don't really care because those are actually being used. Like you cannot drive this on the street. This is only for people racing. Like
that's kind of what I thought the Morenzo edition was going to be. Was that something like that? But apparently it's not. Yeah.
No. I mean it's like the flipper's delight.
Yeah. I mean they're purposely limiting it, but I don't know. It just seems like it seems like a distraction. I guess.
From
what otherwise is like a really big deal.
It's just more of them like I don't know not really handling the launch of this thing in a palatable way. I just don't love it. Okay. So one more thing I want to talk about. What?
I'm just thinking about that ad.
Oh, so I was actually going to skip this, but let's just put it in there real quick. I mean,
Speaking of cars that are hard to get.
Yes, we probably should have put that. So this is an ad I heard on a podcast for the Cadillac LYRIQ. So let's just put it here.
Step into the all-electric Cadillac LYRIQ and experience American luxury elevated to an art form. Meticulously crafted, fiercely original, boldly electric. It's an EV as uncompromising as you are. Be exuberant, be electrifying, be iconic in the all-electric LYRIQ. Order yours. 2023 LYRIQ orders are full. Go to Cadillac.com and complete a pre-order for model year 24 to be among the first to order a model year 24 when available.
Okay, so this ad like pissed me off because first of all, it's just like, what the fuck? How have you said fucking nothing and honestly, so many like words?
That ties into like I was watching like a football game or something, or every once in a while I'll watch something on TV. And it's like, if you notice, like ad commercials are like just fucking empty now. Like, like I feel like there always used to be like in the 90s or 2000s, like you'd watch TV and like a commercial would either just be like just straight like info about something that you didn't care about, or it'd be like they would try pretty hard to make like funny, like interesting commercials.
Yeah, it'd be like we're trying to make you watching this ad be like pleasurable. Like like we're trying to make this ad like good and like memorable.
Yeah. And I don't know, like I can't think of any specific examples that aren't cars.
I feel like commercials used to at least try to tell you why you needed the product a little bit, like, or what the product did differently than its competitors.
Yeah.
Like they threw in something that showed what the fuck it was. And now every commercial, I think, just either tries to be like bold or futuristic or funny. Like
Yeah, or they would like,
that's all it is.
Or like they would always like try really hard to have like a catchphrase or like a jingle or something. Like even if you didn't care about the product, like it was so like recognizable that you would just know, like, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like you would know. Yeah, you would know.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
kind of
jingles
like
for stuff that you're not even interested in.
I think the issue is you used to show something that that people probably have now decided excludes other people. Like here's like, you know, you're going to like the beach with your family or something. It's like, let's not, you know, it's like not everyone can identify with that. Like that's not dangerous now. Yeah, not everyone, you know, so it's just now the place that they've sort of like the corner they've painted themselves into because of whatever like HR department is they can only express these like aspirational things that what simultaneously applies to all humans and applies to no one, or it's just like you're a bold person or something. Just something
drive
like,
the new confidence inspiring.
Yeah, it'll just be someone like in a sort of nondescript city, like feeling good, like this woman has a job that maybe pays well, but we're not going to go into it.
CV.
Yeah, and like she is discerning and like strong, but we're, like we don't want to talk about anything she does. No activities. It's just sort of like it's like she's got her shit together and she likes nice things.
Yeah.
And she's enjoying driving this car. That's about all they're going to give you is like you're a unique person and you
deserve
doing things to a high level of satisfaction. Like it's just this like sliver of nothing.
You like designs that are confidence inspiring.
Yeah, and then they're like, this is a car for like someone as unique as you are. But what they're saying is like, this is a like you're so unique, you're homogenous. like we've identified no one. So I don't know. They just kind of like it's very quickly just like turning into like the Borg from Star Trek. It's like we are all unique and bold. It's like who are you fucking?
Did that Cadillac commercial even like say anything about the car? Like
no,
it's
just like electric is future and stuff like that.
It was like
just catchphrases. Yeah,
boldly EV.
Yeah,
so fucking dumb.
Yeah, but it's like even in the sense of the car, they don't even tell. It's like the Cadillac with like 300 miles of range can like charge in 2 hours.
Yeah, not even remotely.
They don't even say like it wasn't it's a 4-door or like
more legroom than any other car in its class.
It was like craftsmanship and like you're bold,
confident.
It's like, yeah, it's like that's all they have now is like you're a special person. And then the icing on the cake is like there's no more 2023s. You're gonna want to jump on the bandwagon. All sold out. Like okay, that maybe had some relevance like years ago, but now it probably means like we just don't fucking know. We can't make these things, and like
there's too many gizmos.
Like, we've sold like 5. We don't want to promise any more 23s. I feel like they're trying to convey like this thing is fucking selling people, and like you're gonna want to get on the list.
Yeah,
but the kind of stink that I'm detecting is like we just can't get enough chips. like supply chain.
We've blown through our limited.
Fucked. Yeah, we don't have good supply chain management. It's just like there's just no. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too cynical. But I listen to that. I was just like, fuck off. Like. Who cares about this dumb fucking Cadillac? That like we're boldly being pulled into the EV revolution by our dicks. Like look, people, we did not have the balls to move forward into EVs first at all.
Once the government
and now we're getting
us
butt fucked by Tesla and every other government regulate. We're boldly getting our shit handed to us. Please, like it's just
it's a Cadillac.
Like, please remember Cadillac craftsmanship, fucking floundering for a decade. You remember Cadillac, right? Fucking relevant in the 60s. It's just so offensive. And they could have like 10 years ago been like, you know what? That would have been the perfect fucking brand to go EV first. Cadillac in like 2012, they could have hit Tesla with a Model S competitor, like, fuck it. Like the new El Dorado or whatever. Like, we're all EV. We're just going to do this. They're like, nope. We're going to fucking flounder with the like ATS5 or whatever. This fucking like dumb rename. And now they're late to the game. That's like great.
Well, the other thing that I was talking about last time is like how a luxury car used to mean something.
Yes.
And like if you picture like a Cadillac like in the 60s, you're like, God damn, like this thing, like immediately recognizable. And like even though like it's fucking still built
Elvis
by GM,
riding around in one.
Like, it's like now like that. Like what's like Cadillac about? Just this is an electric crossover. Like
that's what I mean. Well, apparently luxury means doing something when you're forced to do it, like a little bitch. Like, it's like, it's like
I don't know. I mean, again, maybe this is not PC, but like this is kind of what it sounds like when it's like when women are like a big part of like when cars are marketed. Like I don't think that car is really marketed towards a guy. Like is it?
Well, I mean, how many like the traditional kind of like
just like
macho dude trying to
or just like the women have a lot more like say in car buying today than they did.
Yeah, I think that is I think there could be something there. I think it's not so much women, it's just we need to make a car that is like like generally nice.
Yeah,
I think you will find that the buyers of this thing is going to be probably pretty evenly split.
Yeah, well, it's like where it's like a '60s Cadillac was like actually bold looking, I guess. Where this is just like the bold new.
Well, I agree. This is not bold. This is not even bold for right now. This is like this would have been bold like not even 5 years ago. Like they're just so late. I mean, we were making fun of the LYRIQ years ago. Like we were cutting edge on making fun of this thing.
When they first debuted the name, we were like, "What the fuck is this?"
To call it bold, fuck, man.
I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there's like some. I see it on like Instagram occasionally, but I'm guessing he's like a TikTok guy, and he like walks up to people in a supercar, and it's clearly staged, and he's like, "What do you do for a living?" And then like they give some bullshit answer, blah 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 blah. But I don't know if you saw one that there's one of he walks up to Biden in a LYRIQ at the Detroit Auto Show, and I'll send you the link right now if you guys want to watch it. But it's fucking so lame. Like, here you go.
Hey, excuse me. Your car is awesome. What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm married to Joe Biden, and I make sure we're making a lot more electric vehicles in America.
Oh, that's amazing. What kind of car is this?
It's a Cadillac.
Okay. And an electric vehicle at that.
That's exactly right, and it's quick.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much.
If you want to get in the back and come ride with me. But I'm going all the way to Washington here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. See you guys. But you want to go to Washington? No?
I just met the president. Let's go.
Oh dear.
Oh boy, I did not enjoy watching that.
I've never wanted whatever that car is. That the LYRIQ?
I just like how Joe Biden probably doesn't even know the name of it. He's like, it's a Cadillac, but he's not like it's a LYRIQ.
Was that the LYRIQ?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think. I
think that. God. Yeah,
I've never wanted a car.
Oh, fucking boring looking. Christ. Yeah, that's a bad look.
The Cadillac LYRIQ is the Joe Biden of cars.
Yeah,
dude, it is. It's like that's the Joe Biden of luxury cars. Here it is. It's the best. Bad look. It's not gonna do anything
we're going
wrong.
to Washington.
Yeah,
can't get in, loser.
Well, that's real. That's real tantalizing.
Going to Washington. Yeah, it's just kind of a sad state where it's like Like they're so clearly at the game last, you know.
Yeah, well,
it'd be
I guess it's appropriate because it's like I say, it's not like Cadillac is, you know, ahead of the curve. Like they're building that because the government is like.
Well, that's what I mean. But they could have the place where EV makes the most sense. It checks all the boxes and leaves nothing like oh, but is luxury.
Yeah,
it's just like you do not give a shit about what motor is in a luxury car unless it's like a V12 and you're trying to show off. It's just like I want it to be silent, I want it to be smooth, I want it to be powerful enough when I need to. It's like luxury. Like that's where they could have gone if anybody in that chain of command had the cajones to like do anything about it. It's like nope, I'm just gonna keep selling like slightly nicer.
Let's wait.
GM products, yeah. It's like that feels like they got to YouTube now and was like, we're gonna make a YouTube channel. It's
we're gonna get on this.
You're fucking late. Yeah,
what if we got into like video?
Yeah, you know what we should do is like make it big on social media. It's like, that's not like you're fucking late. I mean, I don't know. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. But again, this exactly like ties in perfectly. Yeah, this ties in perfectly. It's like it's a fine product. Fine is the new failure. Like it is. It's just a reality. It's just new. Like you can't compete with fine because everybody is pumping out at least fine. So whatever. I guess I will. These are all cars that are like not even out yet. You're just like shredding them based on like advertisements. Fuck this thing.
But I mean, there's no possible way that like what would that thing do for like anyone?
Yeah, we're not going to be like, hold on. Like,
I was wrong.
Motor Trend says it's the most fun car they've ever driven. Steering feels insane. Yeah. Okay. Well. Should we do the end finally? This thing's getting long. Those are ranty.
Just do the end finally.
Okay, so we have talked about this before on the past, and finally. So like tipping culture is here to stay. Like, I feel like
booming more than ever. Like not only has the minimum wage gone up, at least in California, to like an
minimum wage has not gone up. There's been all this talk about like wages need to go up, and I think the like temporary, if not permanent, solution was like just make everything tip.
Yeah.
Like, just put tips everywhere. And just we'll just fix it by like having tips on every fucking like interaction you have. Yeah, except, so here's the thing that pisses me off. The one place that tipping is still not done is fast food.
Yeah.
Which is like probably the place that it deserves to be most.
Yes.
You're finding Chipotle, Carl's Jr., In-N-Out, all these places where people are just like hammering out orders as fast as possible. Even like the Starbucks do it. It's like the big, fast chains don't do tipping, and it's these like janky little interactions that never used to have tipping that now do. And I was like, why am I tipping for this?
They're on the same level as fast food. It's just they're not a big chain. It's like or not a big burger joint like the McDonald's.
Yeah, I just don't understand why I'm not tipping for my Chipotle.
Like sometimes I get food at like food trucks.
Yeah,
and it's like all those places have the stupid tip thing.
Oh yeah.
Anything that has, and it's going to be small businesses because almost every small business is going to use
Square,
a
like
point of sale service like Square or whatever. It's like iPad and a thing. Now you've got a cash register where a bigger one will use their own because it's cheaper for them at that scale to like deploy their own like Chipotle Pay or whatever.
Yeah, or like on the other end, it's like the super old school, like mom and pop places probably don't have it.
Yeah,
that have been in business for like 50 years.
Yeah, they just have the jar. They have like the jar out on the counter. They throw
which I know, it's like, and I do tip. If it's there, I tip. I feel like an asshole if I don't. But then it's like, why can't I tip? Like Chipotle doesn't enable that shit.
No,
we're not tipping. So I don't know. That just kind of bothers me.
The best is like my wife and I go get like frozen yogurt across the street at a couple. There's like 2 frozen yogurt places within like walking distances of us. Yeah, little treat.
Sometimes and so you deserve a little treat.
Yeah, it's like Yogurtland, Menchie's, whatever. They're all the same. But like if you've been there, you walk in and you grab the dish yourself, and then you walk up to all their mini stations and you fill it yourself with whatever you want, and then you walk over to the toppings, put whatever toppings you want on it. Then you walk up to the cash register, place it on the scale yourself. The guy pushes like 3 buttons on the cash register and says like, oh, it'll be like $8. Flips over the iPad and be like, how much do you want to tip?
Yeah, you're like tipping them to weigh your yogurt.
Yeah, it's like, what? You didn't do anything.
He doesn't even.
Yeah, then you go to Chipotle, and the dude in the back's like chopping 50 steaks up with like. It's like, fuck, man. I'd way rather tip for this. So, I don't know. That just kind of bothers me. It's just adding to the argument of like tipping culture has. And I'm not against. I'm not against it. I just
the other weird thing is, although I don't know about other places, but like in Japan, like tipping just does not exist. Like it's not part.
Right.
Like nobody tips.
We either need to make it all or nothing. Like I would almost feel better if there was just like a. I don't know how to solve it, but it's just like, tip tax, like 1% of everything just distributed to everybody in the like food service or something. Or nothing. All or nothing. I don't know. It's very broken in this country. Yeah, I blame Square.
Honestly, I think I said this before, but my tip is like, if you know you're going to go somewhere like that, just pay in cash.
Oh yeah,
there's
no option to. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
cash is coming back.
You could put it in the little like jar if you want, but like you don't look like a dick if you don't.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. It's all based on like shame, I guess.
There it is, people. Yeah, we're dropping some real bombs.
I feel like it used to be like you'd go to the grocery store or something, and they occasionally would be like, "Do you want to donate $1 to some charity?" And you had to physically say like yes or no on the little keypad. Now it's just tipping. Now they just like, do you want to tip money? And you have to purposely say no.
Do you want to round up your 16 cents to like kids with Gehrig's disease? Like, no. I've got no problem turning down those poor children. But $3 for weighing my yogurt.
Yeah, here you go. Here's your job well done.
Here's your tip. Yeah. Anyways, if you'd like to tip us. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. That was especially. These are very therapeutic for us.
I know. Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed. We sure did. Got a lot off my chest. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed.
This episode is brought to you by the new Cadillac. We should just play that commercial again at the end.
Yeah, this is brought to you by the new Cadillac LYRIQ. Be boldly
2020.
bold.
Yeah, better get on the list now for 2024. Yeah.
It's not boldly. Can you imagine thinking you're bold because you bought like the dumbest fucking car on the road? Bold. It's bold, I guess.
My wife likes it.
It's a bold financial decision. Sold out for 23.
Oh God, I better order my 24 now. Yeah.
Bold. Yeah. Veronica's so bold. Something about you. Ever since you got your LYRIQ, I've just been noticing the boldness.
You're just getting promotions left and right now. Yeah.
You're just doing something vaguely professional and enjoying craftsmanship lately.
She works from home. She's an HR.
Yeah, fuck. She's so bold. She zooms into that meeting.
She's just full of confidence now. Yeah.
She zooms in to listen to the presentation.
Yeah. Damn. She's so bold.
Like, okay, we're going to circle back to that for next week.
Yeah, I'm moving that one into episode 96 or whatever. We're going to need to revisit this. Touch on it. You guys are so bold for listening to this podcast.
Each and every one of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Our audience is just so fucking bold.
And unique. Uniquely bold.
Yeah. You know what else is like kind of funny? I was thinking of like there's bumper stickers. Like they just don't really like, I don't know what has changed in kind of like the culture lately, but they're like not as acceptable. Like 3 years ago or whatever, you just have these like vaguely positive like stickers and shit that was like, you matter.
Yeah. Or like the coexist one. Remember like the coexist?
Yeah, they'd be like, don't be a dick. Or like, just sort of like firing off this like passive aggressive positivity. Like as if anyone's gonna be like, you know what?
Be a good
having
person.
This shit day.
Yeah.
And like I saw this bumper sticker that told me not to be a dick.
Yeah. Well, Coyne, you're doing that now by throwing out your thumbs up left and right. So you're the modern day bumper sticker.
That's different. That's very targeted. That's not a bumper sticker that says like all cars are good, because they still think that I've made a decision that their car is good.
You should just start doing it to random people now, and then like some random guy in a yellow vet gave me a thumbs up and really brightened my day.
I know. It's kind of like my. If you're in a yellow vet, it's up to you.
Yeah, you're like Santa Claus in the summer.
People look to me as an ambassador of style and boldness.
Exactly.
Mine is yellow, so I can't do it.
Yeah, to grant them. Yeah, you're just sort of blending in. You're not bold like me. I'm letting them know.
Break the rules with the new Cadillac.
Yeah. Break the rules. So many other people are bold that we've sold out. So bold. Fuck, man. Okay. Better cut this off. Thank you guys for listening.
Solid.
Thank you for being here. And we will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.